This system fed entire civilizations for 2,000 years with just 100 square meters of land, without chemical fertilizers, without machinery, and without depending on anyone. In 2026, the food crisis stopped being a distant warning and became the daily reality of millions of families. Prices rise every week, portions shrink, and the nutritional quality of industrial food plummets while the cost skyrockets. But 2,000 years ago, a civilization solved this problem permanently. They developed a food production system so efficient, so complete, and so self-sufficient that a single family could feed itself for an entire year, with a space smaller than a modern apartment. This system needed no imports, no subsidies, no outside experts. It only needed knowledge, and that knowledge was systematically erased from modern agronomy manuals. Because a people who know how to feed themselves are a people who cannot be controlled by the industrial distribution chain. If you are here, it is because you understand that true security is not bought at a supermarket. Subscribe now and join our technical resistance. Every week, one more protocol toward your total food independence. But first, you need to understand why this was hidden. The system you are about to discover is called Milpa, and it was the food heart of Mesoamerican civilizations for more than 2,000 years. The Maya, the Aztecs, the Zapotecs had no supermarkets, no cold chain, no synthetic fertilizers. And yet, they sustained populations of millions of people with a nutritional density in their diet that modern anthropologists still cannot fully explain. What you will see next contradicts everything you were taught. Industrial agronomy taught you that to produce food, you need specialization, monoculture, external inputs, and industrial scale. They taught you that a small farmer without modern technology cannot compete with the efficiency of a large corporation. But the Milpa dismantles that narrative with 2,000 years of evidence. The Milpa is not simply a way of planting, it is a biological architecture. 3 plants, working in perfect metabolic synergy, simultaneously occupying the same space, the same soil, the same air, but without competing with each other, because each one occupies a different layer of the vertical ecosystem. Corn grows upward, capturing solar light in the upper layers. Its stalks act as a support structure for the climbing plants. Beans climb up the corn stalk, fixing atmospheric nitrogen directly into the soil through their root nodules. Each bean plant is a living fertilizer factory, working 24 hours a day at no cost, with no human intervention, and squash spreads across the ground, covering every centimeter of earth with its wide leaves, creating a living mulch that retains moisture, regulates soil temperature, and suppresses weed growth without the need for herbicides. These 3 plants, corn, beans, and squash, are known as the 3 sisters, and their symbiotic relationship is so perfect that modern nutritionists discovered something extraordinary. Together, they form a practically complete diet for human beings. Corn provides complex carbohydrates and energy. Beans complete the essential amino acids that corn lacks, and squash delivers fat-soluble vitamins, minerals, and digestive fiber. 2,000 years before the science of nutrition existed, these civilizations had already solved the problem of complete nutrition, intuitively and perfectly. Nature needed no laboratory. It only needed to be observed with rigor. Now, observe with precision the materials and proportions of this ancestral system. The first component is the selection of native varieties. Do not use packaged hybrid seeds. Modern hybrid seeds are designed to produce only once, to force you to buy again every season. Native varieties, on the other hand, have spent thousands of years adapting to the specific conditions of each region. They are more resistant to local pests, tolerate climate variations better, and their seeds can be saved and replanted indefinitely. Seek native seeds at local markets, at seed exchanges, or in nearby indigenous communities. They are cheaper, or completely free, and are infinitely superior in terms of local adaptation. The second component is the preparation of soil with memory. The third ingredient is the most dangerous one for the industry. It is the knowledge of the ancestral agricultural calendar. Mesoamerican civilizations did not plant on a whim. They planted following lunar and seasonal cycles documented with mathematical precision. Sowing at the new moon favors root development. Sowing at the crescent moon favors aerial and foliar growth. This knowledge is completely free, completely accessible, and completely ignored by modern industrial agronomy because it cannot be patented or sold. Executing the Milpa system demands order, patience, and respect for the temporal sequence. Step 1. The preparation of the sacred ground. Select a space of at least 20 square meters. Prepare the soil using the living soil techniques you already know: biochar, basalt rock dust, and native microbiological inoculant. The Milpa needs living soil as its foundation, not dead soil with synthetic fertilizer on top. Step 2. The sowing of corn. Plant native corn seeds in mounds spaced 50 centimeters apart. 2 or 3 seeds per mound, at 5 centimeters depth. Wait until the plants reach 20 centimeters in height before introducing the next sisters. The corn needs to establish itself first because it is the backbone of the system. Step 3. The arrival of beans. When the corn reaches 20 centimeters, plant 2 native bean seeds at the base of each stalk. The beans will begin to climb naturally, with no need for guidance. The intelligence of the plant recognizes the support and uses it instinctively. Step 4. The squash cover. 1 week after planting the beans, sow squash seeds between the mounds. Their wide leaves will begin to cover the ground within a few weeks, creating the cool and humid microclimate that protects the roots of the 3 sisters. Attention! Here is the critical mistake that everyone makes: planting the 3 sisters at the same time. The temporal sequence is not optional. It is the key to the system. If you plant everything together, the squash competes with the young corn for light, and the beans have no support to climb. The system collapses before it can establish itself. Respect the intervals, respect the hierarchy of time, and the system will regulate itself on its own. Step 5. The maintenance of the living cycle. Once the Milpa is established, your work is reduced to observing. The only necessary intervention is irrigation during extreme drought periods, and the incorporation of the plants into the soil at the end of each cycle. Bean roots leave nitrogen nodules that fertilize the next cycle. Corn stalks become organic matter, and squash leaves decompose into a protective soil mulch. The system feeds itself cycle after cycle, generation after generation. By mastering the Milpa, you do not just have food for your family. You have a living system that improves with each season, that needs no external inputs, that does not depend on international prices, or political decisions, or distribution chains that can collapse at any moment. You have what 2,000 years of Mesoamerican civilization already knew: that true wealth is not accumulated in banks. It is cultivated in the earth. Every harvest from this ancestral system is a declaration of independence. It is proof that the most powerful answers to the challenges of 2026 were written 2,000 years ago, in the furrows of a forgotten Milpa. If this knowledge lit something in you today, subscribe and share with someone who still believes they need a supermarket to survive. Leave a comment. Did you already know about the 3 sisters system? Because in our next technical session, we will reveal the forgotten system that makes small gardens produce 3 times more food than a conventional one. A spatial design method that multiplies production without increasing space, without increasing irrigation, and without increasing labor. The manual remains open, the technical resistance advances, and your real independence is taking deep root.